Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm Stoner Erickson from Erickson Design Company, and this week I think we're going to do something a little fun. So Mother's Day is coming up, and what mother doesn't love a homemade gift? Now this is something you can do out of scrap wood. It'll be very inexpensive, and I think it'll mean a lot more to her than something you might buy. So let's design it. So it's going to be like a wall hanger, picture framer kind of thing. In the back of our house, we have a love sign that we made out of 2x4s. My wife saw on Pinterest years ago, and I made it. And we love looking out our back window and seeing the word love. So I thought we'd scale that down and build it out of just basic 2x4s, make them 1 inch by 1 inch. And let's draw it out. So basically the love is going to be the L. And then the O kind of hangs off of it. And then the V hangs off of that. And then the E kind of supports it and hangs off of that. Right? So it's attached there, there, and there. Then inside of the O, I think we should put, a picture, some plexiglass or a picture frame. So here's me in there saying hi. And then we'll put some plexiglass in there and a back on it. And it'd be kind of a cool wall hanger picture framer. So I think that's going to be the project this week. Let's figure it out. I'm Stoner Erickson from Erickson Design Company. Let's build something. Ta-da! I'm going to start by changing out the fine blade to a more coarse blade, 60 versus 40. This rougher blade will allow a little bit more room as I'm ripping down these 2x4s into 1 by 1 inches.
Draw it out, measure it.
Yeah, it's on there.
What?
Yeah, you're on camera.
Oh, I'm on camera.
Had to embarrass my wife there a little bit. She sure is a sweetheart. Now that I've got them ripped down, I'm going to hop on the chop saw and I'm going to mark 8 inches up on the actual saw and then 16 back. This is just freehand design here, so I'm going to use that 8 and 16 to kind of use as my guide to lay this whole thing out. I'm going to cut the 45 for the V to sit on the O and the L. Now this is as I'm chopping that, I'm just kind of designing it on top of the table saw. Just whatever looks good and feels good. And that was pretty much it. It took me about 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some glue and a little brad nailer here and just kind of glue it and nail it together. I'm gonna notch out with the router where the piece of plexiglass is gonna go. I could have done this on the table saw, but since I have this little bench router, I'm just gonna use it real fast. I'm gonna practice on a piece of scrap wood though to get the right level. And I'll notch out the O and then the top part of the bottom part of the L for the top part of the O. Now I cut the piece of plexiglass and I'm going to slide it down in there and then nail it together. And that's pretty much it. That took about 45 minutes. Now I'm going to tape off the plexiglass because I've got to put a router or a dado around the back to hold the back piece of it. So I don't want the sawdust cramming all in there and messing it all up. I actually had to take the top of the L off because I got paint all over it. So this was kind of a minute step as I was just freehanding this. And I'll route out where the back's going to go. I'm going to cut the back and then I'm going to just sand the corners round instead of chisel out on the back of the love sign. And I'll just round over the corners and make it fit. Fits good. Now I'm going to use the table saw to paint this thing, so I'm just going to mask it off and get ready to paint it. I decided to paint it red and then sand it after the fact, so it made it look a little bit rustic. I'm not going to paint too much here. Now I'm going to lay out the back of it where the picture's going to go. I'm going to put a block on it so the picture actually will sit back. My mother used to build shadow boxes, and this was a trick she'd used to make it more three-dimensional, not just glue it or right to the back, but actually set it out on a block to give it more depth. Kind of smart. I'll just paint the back side and then let it dry. Now to keep with the rough theme, I'm going to sand this block and run some screws that are countersunk to attach it from behind. By sanding it, I'm going to sand off the paint through the wood so it'll look a little weathered. And then I'll just grab a little glue and glue the picture on. This is a picture of us at our friend's wedding, just being silly. Now I had to pull the plexiglass out because I got paint on it, and this mineral spirits isn't going to work. It's actually messing up the plexiglass. I'm going to take a little razor blade and clean it up. Now I'm going to set up and sand over this downdraft table. When I'm sanding fine dust like this, like spray paint dust, it's really nice to have the sander, just the dust collection just sucking down all that little fine dust. I'm just sanding right over top of it and it's sucking, I would say, 90% of the dust straight down into the vacuum. So by sanding it off, it's going to ride the high points and kind of make it look a little weathered and let the wood grain shine through. Now I'm going to reattach the L to the O and add the plexiglass back in it. I'll just clean up the glue and then I'll attach the actual sign. Now I did nail this to my table, so I'll have to clip off that nail and pound the nail in. I'm just gonna use 3/4 inch screws just to attach it. That way she could change the picture out if she wanted to. That was a really fun one. You know, everyone on the planet has a mother, so Mother's Day is a really important day. So try to reach out, build them something, make them something, even write them a card or even send them a text. You know, this is a fun little picture that she can have on her wall or outside. And, you know, it says love, so she should feel the love on Mother's Day. If you like videos like this, comment below. Subscribe and share this with anyone who you think can benefit from it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Stoner Erickson from Erickson Design Company. Let's build something. Ta-da!